Okay. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome as always. Good evening to all YBs in Malaysia, Singapore, and around the world who are joining us. Yeah, as always, thank you so much for tuning in to our live photography sharing on this beautiful Saturday night. Please allow me to introduce myself. For those who do not know my name is Michael Choong, and we have Howard Ho over there. Hi, Howard.
Everyone. Yes.
Yeah. As usual, we will be your host for tonight. Okay. What we have tonight is we have Mr. SC Lee. Howard, we have some echo sound behind.
From who?
Hello. Okay, better now. Sorry, yeah. Okay, tonight we are so happy to have Mr. SC Lee. Lee started shooting with DSLR many years ago, and over the last few years, he has been developed a unique interest in mountain hiking. He traveled to Nepal numerous times for leisure, for exploration as well as photography. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Master SC Lee. Over to you, Lee.
Well, yes. I won't consider myself a master. I just a hobbyist, right? To be honest. So before that, let me show my screen. Can you all see?
Coming.
Yeah, consider you yourself as a master because I believe not many of us actually has been to Mount Everest or travel to Nepal. Yeah.
To me, traveling to trekking, mountaineering is an opportunity that offered to me about 6 years ago during my line of work. I'm actually in IT industry as a solution designer. Nowadays IT world is very stressful, right? And mountain trekking and hiking actually open up a window for me to see the world, to experience different, and then get myself out of the working life, right? Because one thing I love about mountaineering or hiking is that you won't get any cellular connections when you're in the mountain. So you have a piece of peaceful travel period, and your boss will not able to reach you via your phone. So that's one thing I love about mountain. And from time to time, I develop this hobby. I want to do more, especially after my first hike in Mount KK. Right, as a Malaysian, I'm actually in staying in Cheras. So I started with local hiking and then go to KK. And then from there, I travel to Nepal. I've been in Nepal 2 times. And then further than that, I've been hiking and mountaineering in China, in US, these few locations. But because of pandemic, we all been grounded. So I won't
grounded.
I'm supposed to go Alps for about duration of 2 weeks hiking, and I was planning to go island peak mountaineering for this year or next year, but now unforeseen doesn't happen. But anyway, so for these sections, I'm going to share with you my experience as a hobbyist in photography. But you can shoot. What are the things that you should prepare? I won't share much on what is the camera settings, all those, because I believe that in Yellow Boots the member group, you all have all the skill set and knowledge to how to take a photograph of a landscape, of a portrait, and everything, right? So it will not tie you down on that. But my experience sharing will tell you that what you should prepare, what are the items that you should get yourself on the planning, and what are you going to do, and what kind of scenery you can capture. So let me move to the second slide. These are the topics I'm going to cover off for today, right? From the uniqueness of Nepal, right? An introduction on that. What are the planning you want to have when you travel to Nepal? What is your objective? And based on your objective, what are the preparation you need to have, right? In terms on your physical and also on your mental and also on your gear itself. And on top of that, Nepal, when you talk about Nepal, people always tends to look at the street photography and landscape photography. Well, I can tell you that it's more than that. All right. So through the this series of presentation, I will show you the my photos that I'm able to capture during my stay. Right. So let's talk about Nepal. Nepal is very unique. All right. For those that you are aware, Buddha was born in Lumbini in Nepal, not India. Surprise when I was know about it. Now, Nepal also the only country that with a unique national flag, which in a triangle shape, not in a rectangular shape like the rest of the world, right? This has been approved by the international countries as a unique flag itself. And then in Nepal, they have their living goddess decorate the Kumari, right? Children, a child, right? Girl that is been selected during the born, and then for throughout the number of years, she will be served as a goddess to pray and host for any all their regions event. Now, everyone knows that the highest peak in the world is actually in Nepal, right? We call it Himalaya, not Everest. I'm not a military officer to please some a general and change the name become Everest. Nah, I think that Himalaya sounds perfect, right? Lula. Lula is the most dangerous airport in the world. You can Google it and search the most dangerous airport in the world. You see that Lula is #1, right? And every time the plane landed in Lula airport, everyone cheered for it, right? And then Nepal have the 7 UNESCO World Heritage sites in the world in Pokhara and also Kathmandu. Do visit it. Of course, you can make arrangement for travel company to get you the ticket to visit the site and do hire a tour guide. He will able to explain to you the history, the location, and the history event that happened in that location. Now, it's a heaven to numerous great mountain peak, right? Nepal has 5 highest peak in the world, right? Some of them are climbable, some of them are not climbable. If you are into mountaineering, you definitely heard of the name called K2, right? It's the most busiest mountain peak in the world, and also they also capture a lot of lives has been taken during the mountain climbing, right? And then it offers some of the world best trekking trail available in the world. It range from the shortest from 3 to 4 days down to even for 1 month or even beyond than that, right? So now, for the latest developments, right, Nepal allowed the international traveler to enter Nepal during this pandemic time, and these are the steps and application steps that you need to apply. Normally, for Malaysian, where you travel to Nepal, right, we will need to apply, we call it the visa on arrival, which means that once you touch down in Kathmandu airport, you will go through a series of machines, register yourself, fill in the form, and pay amount of I can't recall what's the amount of USD upon your arrival. The process, if let's say in a non-peak hour or non-peak season, normally it takes about 20 minutes, but it's during the peak season, it will take mostly like an hour or 2, right? Well, it depends, right? And then during this period of time, the visa on arrival is no longer permit. You need to apply your visa application through the in-country Nepal embassy online, right? On top of that, you need to get yourself a travel insurance and the COVID-19 negative report swab within 72 hours before your departure. On top of that, you need to confirm your hotel booking confirmation letter to be present, and then the CCMC form. This is actually a form to validate that you are COVID-free. Okay. On top of that, when you arrive to Nepal, you need to stay 7 days quarantine in a hotel. But right now, the latest development is that you are able to stay in any of the pre-arranged accommodation that by the travel company. No longer hotel quarantine hotels no longer required, right? Just for info. Of course, you require to be fully vaccinated, right? That is where your MySejahtera certifications come into handy, right? just for sharing. Now, planning. What can you do in Nepal? First of all, what you are ask yourself, what are you trying to achieve? What is your objective? You're going there for photographing, you're going for trekking, mountaineering, or cultural tour, wherever. I have a lot of friends that traveled to Nepal before, but I would say that none of them have the same objective as I am. Like my parents went there just for cultural tour for a week, and then they complain Bari is very dusty, all and that. But my 2 tour in Nepal has been very fulfilling. Right, I brought back a lot of happy memory, great photo, a great companion. Right. So based on that, you have to plan ahead what you're going to do, and if you're going for hiking like I do, right, you have to decide where is your trekking destination, because in Nepal there's a lot of trekking destination, right? The slide that is showing here, the Everest, Annapurna, GoPro, Langkang, these are the few among the popular spot. Of course, there over the years, especially within these 2 years itself, right? Nepal tourist agency has been discover a few more new trekking that is going to come available for the next coming season, which is right now will be current autumn or even for next year. So when is the best season to travel? Best will be spring, which is from March to May, and autumn, which is from September to November. I was glad that I'm able to visit Nepal in these 2 seasons. And these 2 seasons itself, I'm actually hiking in almost the same route, which is the Annapurna trekking region, but different companion. Although the scenery are the same, for me it's like revisiting the same location, but it presents to be different scene, right? Throughout the days, because of the weather, it will determine the outcome of the surrounding, the weather, the clouds, the wind condition, and also the lightning as well. As you know, that photography is the language of light, right? Especially you are in landscape. Good light gives you good photo in any way, right? Now, if you go for, let's say, Poon Hill, like what I did on my second trip, my Poon Hill hike is about 4 days, but my trip to Nepal was a week, right? Because you always require a recommended to buffer extra 1 or 2 days. This because that the weather conditions it may delay your trip, right, a couple of days, right? Well, one of my friends who went to Nepal for Everest Base Camp hike a couple of years ago. The Everest Base Camp hike end to end, it was about 12 days, right? Because of the weather condition, they are not able. Their flight it was cancelled. The continuous few days for continuous few days. They only managed to fly to Lula Airport on the 4th day or 5th day itself. But because of the duration, right, they're not able to make it to Everest. Therefore, they need to look at the hike. They will hike for the alternate trekking route, right? So if you want to enjoy the full hike, make sure that you buffer at least 1 or 2 days. And then travel companies. I would encourage you to go to engage a local travel company, which is in Nepal, not in Malaysia. All right. Why is that? Because the the travel company able to arrange you all the hiking permit that you require. Yes, in Nepal you do require permit, especially on mountaineering. Lately, the Nepal travelers tourists, they cancel couple of tourists or hikers or climbers from India because they fake their climbing record to Everest. Right, they have been fined, and then they have been banned from entering Nepal for the upcoming 10 years. So they do take this very, very seriously. The other thing is that travel company were able to arrange the accommodations, the tickets, and the most importantly for me is actually to break the communication barrier. Because when I was trekking, the mountain guide will always follow with me because I'm usually the last one of the group. As a photographer, when you see a good scene, you can't help yourself but and stop and take pictures, right? And there will be in the hiking terminology or information, there's someone called sweeper, which is the last person of the group, right? And that last person normally will be the mountain guide. So along the way, when I meet the local people, I wish to take their portrait. I will ask their permission, and the mountain guide is actually will help me to break the communication barrier or language barrier. And then gear depends on which month you're going. What are the activities you need to prepare an appropriate gear itself, right? Now, this is the travel company that I engaged with during my two trip to Nepal. It's called Alliance Adventure. This company itself, actually, their customers are around Southeast Asia, Europe, and also US. However, most of the customers that they entertain are from Malaysia itself. One of them is actually Bank Negara. In the past, Bank Negara always arranged this annual hiking trip to Nepal, and they are the company that helping them to arrange all these the hiking arrangements, including accommodation, the flight, and everything. Okay, so if you wish to engage Alliance Adventure, you can email them or you can search. I know them very, very well. Now, depends on where you if you go hiking or go for mountaineering, do study your agenda or your trip, right? As for me, for trip, I went for first trip I went to Annapurna Base Camp, which is APC in short term. The second trip I went for Poon Hill. So let me show my laser pointer.
SC, yeah. SC?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Harley asking, what is the elevation of Nepal that photography visitor will go?
All right. It depends on your location. Now, Kathmandu or Pokhara is altitude around 1,000 meters. Normally, you won't have any high altitude sickness or acute mountain sickness or AMS in the short term. The key is when you're landed first day, go slow. Your motion have to be slower than your usual, right? Take your time, move slowly, adapt the attitude of the pressure, then you'll be okay. Now, in terms of what is the altitude normally you go, it really depends on where are you traveling and what kind of hiking route that you're checking. For myself in Annapurna Base Camp, this is the hiking map. Right, I took the picture during my hike, so you can see my pointer. Right. So normally on the first day, for me, I took flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara. Right, Kathmandu is actually located on the east side of Nepal. Pokhara is on the west side. Right, you can travel to Pokhara from Kathmandu via via plane or via land transport, which is the bus or van or jeep. Now, if you travel via the bus or jeep, you please aware that you need to spend about 6 to 8 hours on the road. It's because the road condition is very bad. It's very bumpy. It's like a roller coaster for the continuous several hours. You will stop for a break in between 1 or 2 hours, right, and a meal. But for me, for the 2 times travel to Nepal, I always take flight because I want to save time on that. I don't want to spend additional 2 days on the road, which is very uncomfortable. And secondly, the second time when I traveled to Nepal, I bring along my entire family. Right, my daughter at the time was around 11 years old. My son was 13. Yeah. So I took flight. So when I landed in Pokhara, right, we took we took lunch, and then we will travel to this location, and then that will be beginning our first hike to our destination, which is Ulari. Now, if you can see here, Ulari actually based on the altitude of 1,960 meters, right? As long as you go slow pace, don't hurry yourself. Don't do any drastic movement, or don't rush it. You are fine. And then most of the destination will be to Punjil, which is this location. So Urari to Gorapani, which is here, right? It's an altitude of 2,874, right? On the third day, early morning, you'll be hiked up to this Punjil, which took you about 1 hour to witness the mountain area. Right, the sunrise will on the east side, which is from here itself, and the sunrise will shine across all the mountain range. It's very, very beautiful. It's very, very breathtaking. It really depends on the weather condition of that day. The first time when I traveled to Punjil, it was clear sky. Right. Second time, it's not very clear. It's a bit cloudy and it's very, very cold. But the view is still magnificent for any first timer. Right. So the two times I traveled there, one time will be Punjil. The second time is actually Punjil route, whereby we travel from this location to Urari, Gorapani, and then down to Gangrut, and then back to our departure location, and then back to Pokhara and Kathmandu. My first trip is actually all the way to Punjil up to Annapurna Base Camp. And then from here, we came back down to our departure location. So Punjil is a shorter trip. It's about 4 days. On the daily basis, you will hike around 4 to 5 hours. Some people take about 7 or 8. It's okay. Seriously, it is okay. It depends on your own pace. The ultimate goal is not to try not to rush yourself and get yourself into mountain sickness. That's the last thing you want to do, especially you are high altitude locations, right? For us, for my first time, I was hiking with a group of athletes. So our daily hike duration is about 3 to 4 hours. Even our porter and our hiker said that you guys are too good. They have to catch up with us, not we are catch up with them. My second trip to Punjil, because my daughter is very young, it's about 10 or 11, so they arranged a special guide just for my daughter. And who knows, my daughter is the first one to reach the destination on each and every day. So it really depends on your physical. So if you're going for trekking, do a lot of exercise, especially marathon, local hill climbing, or even trekking, right? For continuous 3 months before your travel date, and then 1 month before that, in an alternate week, do spend to trek for a full day hike if you can. That will help a lot, right? A better body means that you have a lot of great time to enjoy the view and the trek. It does help a lot. Now, if you're looking at the Punjil, right, the average altitude is around 2,000 or 2,050, right? If you're hiking to Annapurna Base Camp, now Annapurna Base Camp, the high altitude is actually 4,095. You can see here, it's slightly lower than Mount KK. But however, throughout the days, the duration of 10 days, you are in the high altitude pressure, right? Which means that your body have get used to 2,000 or 3,000 altitude, which makes it easier for you to walk and walk and hike during in this normal altitude itself. So if you follow that instructions, then you should be fine. There's no limitation on if I want to take photograph, what kind of altitude I should stay below or stay upon. There's no such thing. It really depends on your physical build-up itself. Right. So this is the map. Let me move on to the next slide. Now, hiking gears. Okay. Nepal do offer a lot of good quality hiking gears in a lower price, right? But for me, these are the essential that you need to pre-prepare before you travel to Nepal. A windproof jacket with raincoat, a good spare or hiking shoe and thermal socks, and also flipper for your leisure. Why hiking shoes that you need to pre-prepare? Because you get used to the shoes, the hiking shoes. Because hiking shoes is not marathon shoes. It's not that soft. It tends to be hard on the footing, right? But it will protect you against any harsh environment, terrain and also cold weather, right? And then heat tech innerwear, this is a must, especially when we want to photograph night for the Milky Way. Trust me, it's a must, right? You can buy the heat tech from Uniqlo. It only costs you about 30-40 ringgit, any of the piece. I would recommend you buy at least 2 sets for your whole body. Because if you photograph Milky Way at night, especially in Poon Hill, the night weather will be around -2. If you are in spring, in base camp, Annapurna base camp, whereby the snow is still very thick, like 3-4 feet, I went out around 3 a.m. at night. The temperature was -5, and I can only last about 40 minutes out there. There's no wind blowing, but the coldness will crawl into your bones. That how cold it is. So that's why the heat tech innerwear is very, very essential. It's very important, right? Quick dry clothing during your daily hike, because when you're walking, when you're hiking, your body will generate a lot of heat. You don't require to wear jacket or windproof jacket. You will take it out, right? But when you reach your destination, make sure you put on your jacket to protect your body heat, right? Comfortable daily pack about 18 to 22 liters. It depends. If you're a photographer, make sure that your backpack is weatherproof, especially windproof. If you don't, make sure that you buy additional rain cover to cover your backpack and your gear, especially. Duffel bag normally to put on all your clothing, all your necessary equipment in there, right? And then along your hike, you do bring along your hot water container. Every morning, just ask the tea house to fill up the water for you, and then you're good to go. Why only 1 liter? Why not 3 liters or 4 liters? Because if you're hiking with a trekking company, or even you go solo, right? Every 1 hour you follow the trail, you will meet up the tea house. Tea house basically is a Nepal government certified tourist hosting area, right? They provide food and lodging or accommodation to the traveler. So every time you go there, you can just ask to fill out the water. Don't bow down yourself by the weight that you need to carry yourself. So you don't require to have a very huge container. Just 1 liter will do. Trust me. Snacks, if you like yogurt or pakwa, you bring some, and also chicken frost, because we found out that every morning we have a bowl of porridge. We put on chicken frost, it tastes better. Well, that's personal preference. It's up to you. But dry nuts, it will be a good snacks along a trek. Toilet paper and wet tissue. Trust me, you will need that. They don't most of the TLs does not provide toilet paper. Okay, and wet tissue is needed when you are going for the break, and when you are in very extreme cold weather, like below 10, you can't take shower, because every time you take shower, you will lose your body heat, and when you lose your body heat, you tend to fall in sick. That is the worst thing you want to do. So what we did is actually use a wet tissue and clean ourselves, right? Lastly, plastic bag. That is for your trash. Don't leave it on the trail. Protect the environment, right? So camera gear, it will be the daily use of your camera gear, right? You have to familiar with the setting, the performance, what you can do during different weather, different light conditions, different environment. Once you get used to it, familiar with that, you can quickly go into action when you saw something that beautiful that you like to capture it. For myself, I don't hang my camera on my body when I'm trekking, because it will start to tangle around and actually impact my action. So I always keep in my bag. So when I always see the something that I like, I can just take it off and take it out within a few seconds. Right, that actually is a good practice, because if you tangle there, because of the and the weather conditions, you found that at the end of the day, your camera will cover by dust, and you don't want that, right? A tripod is a must. If you can get carbon fiber tripod, it helps a lot. The picture that you see there is actually an aluminum tripod. It was so heavy, I asked a porter to carry for me. The second trip I went there, I bought a carbon fiber tripod. I tell you, it helps a lot, right? And a steady ball head. A lot of memory card. Please do bring a lot of memory card, and don't use one memory card throughout the journey. Who knows? Your memory card might fail on you on the second day or third day, and you lose all your pictures, right? So my practice is that I will only keep the memory card in my camera after 2 or 3 days. After that, although it will not fill up 100% or even 50%, I'll tend to change it. It becomes some of the good habit of mine. And I always shoot my photo in RAW and JPEG. JPEG as a backup copy. RAW I can amend it in Photoshop or Lightroom. Batteries, you need to bring a lot for your gears because in cold weather, okay. So in a normal weather conditions, a battery for the DSLR you can shoot about 1,000 picture. For my Nikon D850. For others, there's no digital. It's using a digital shutter, right? You can shoot. Maybe you should shoot lesser, right? But in a cold weather, especially under 10 or even minus Celsius kind of conditions, your battery drain out very fast. Normally, you can only last about 30% or 50% of your normal capacity, right? And for me, my battery always stay in my inner pocket. I'm using my body ROM to actually keep the battery in a good condition. Sorry, is there any questions that you'd like to ask before I move on?
Yes. Harley. Wait. Harley say, what is the charges for the portal? And then Jahaba asks a backup camera. Do you bring a backup camera or compact?
Oh, okay. I only bring my one unit of DSLR, which is my Nikon, and I use my phone as backup, although it's not really a backup because I've been using my Nikon camera in many traveling locations, different locations, even in extreme weathers. It never failed me, and honestly, I just a hobbyist. I'm not a professional. I can't afford two body and bring along. And you need to remember that the last point is that the porter does not have the responsibility to take care of gear. So all your gear you must carry on yourself. For me, I have another trip. So because if you're using a DSLR is very heavy, especially you're using very expensive glass, the Trinity lens, right? 14, 24, 24, 70, 70, 200 with a steady full frame body, right? You can only last for 1 or 2 hours, then you are way down already. Right?
What is the portal charges?
The portal charges is for myself actually included in my package already, my travel package.
Okay.
But I will always prepare some USD for my portal. Well, depends how the portal serve you, but they are very, very responsible. They treat us very well. They are welcome us with open arms. So no, at the end of the day, I reward my porter with some amount of good money for them because they do really take care of us.
Okay.
Right. For me, I carry 2 to 3 lens during my hikes. I only keep my camera body and the lens, the standard lens 24-70 on my camera. The rest of the lens I actually put it in a production gear and cover with clothes, a thick clothes, and then put it inside my duffel bag. And that duffel bag will carry by the porter itself. So they won't know, they won't care, right? But it's a way to actually to reduce your weight. And I found out that if you're using a thick layer of protection gear to protect your lens and also cover your clothes, right? The chance of breaking it is very, very minimal. Trust me, I tried that on my 2 trip. It's safe. It's work as normal, right? Cleaning kits, yes, it's a must. Alcoholic swab, rocket blower, and also lens cleaner is a must. If you can, bring the sensor cleaner as well, but do practice how to use it before you travel. Okay, sorry, just give me a moment. Okay. So now,
Lee, about
yes.
10 o'clock, we will open for Q&A. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Then I need to rush through. Okay. This is the my advice to you. Don't change your lens on the trail because it's very dry, because it's very windy. The dust will flow everywhere. I was being smart. What I did is I changed my lens by using a sling bag. So it was very dusty. I noticed that. So I put my body and my lens in the sling bag and cover it, right? And then I change it by familiar myself, right? And this is what happened to the rest of the trip. All my photos was dusted.
This is the first trip or the second trip?
This was the second trip on my second day.
Oh,
Just imagine that for the rest of the trip. So every photo type I love, I need to do a heavy photo shot just to remove all the dust and recover the colors and the texture. So don't change your lens on the trail. If you need to do so, put on those lenses that have the wide focal length, right? Like 28-300 or 28-200, right? That will be our best choice. One lens, one camera throughout the trip.
Yeah. Oh, curiosity, where the dust actually came from? I thought on top of mountain, snow everywhere. There's no industrial. Yeah, where the dust came from?
Because Nepal is a very dry. It's a very dry, right? The rain only happens during the summertime. So when in the summertime, there's a lot of rain. There tends to be snake, landslide. So they don't open the trail during the summer and winter because I think winter is very cold, right? Summer is very dangerous for even for the locals, right? So if you're hiking during winter, you found that some of the tea house actually closed for business. Right.
Okay.
So if you want to change your lens, please reach your destination, change your lens in your own room. Don't end up like me. So what can you do during your trip in Nepal? Right. You can do landscape, you can do street photography, you can do portrait, astro, long exposure, time lapse, as long as you have the right tools and right gear.
It's almost everything, yeah.
Supposed to be everything. Now, most of the time, the first photo is going to take is on when you're first seen the mountain, right? For me, it's actually on the plain. Now, it's not an ideal location that you shoot on the plane itself because it's always shaky, it's always turbulence, right? And the glass and the window is always covered, it's not fully clean, right? This is after a heavy Photoshop. It's not ideal, it's not for display, but it's a good memory for me. And when we are traveling from Kathmandu to Pokhara, right? Always sit on the right-hand side of the plane. This is where the mountain view is, right? And there's no reserve seat, so it's a first time, first take. So do board on the plane as early as possible, right?
Do the people queue or they just rush into the plane?
They will rush. Trust me, they won't queue. That's Nepal. Because every experienced hiker will know that the best view is on the right-hand side, and there's no stumble. Okay, so the following slide will be a picture that I captured along the hike itself. Along the trail, you'll see a porter carry all the hiker stuff, right? Each of our porter are carrying about a weight up to 30 kg, right? And this is belong of 2 hiker stuff. The travel company will tends to limit your items to be carried along. Each of our porter will carry 2 hikers itinerary, and total of 30 kg, and that's about it, not more than that, right? Because the hiking trail is actually very mountaining. It's a lot of climbing, a lot of descent, right? If you're hiking to Annapurna Base Camp, there's one track that you need to climb 3,000 steps in order to reach your destination. I can tell you that is no joke, right? And then you will see a lot of steel bridges when you're on the scene. is a good view, capture the picture as you go along. And then if you arrive early, clean yourself, and then treat yourself a good hot drinks, either cocoa or coffee or tea or masala tea. They are very good on that, right? And then enjoy the view, right? On a sunny day, clear sky, you can see the mountain range, and then the degradation of the colors, right? That is very magnificent. Although for Annapurna Base Camp Trail, you will see the same mountain every day. But because of the different location of the treehouse, the landscape of the mountaining are different, right? That gives you a very unique view on a day-to-day basis. So along the hike for the 9 to 10 days, right, you enjoy very much. Now, this is my second trip. This is my wife, right? We like to when I travel to Nepal, I tend to bring some exercise book and color pencils, right? The reason why is that I asked my travel company what kind of things that I can donate to the local children. They told me that don't bring candies, don't bring chocolate, because for us, before we go to bed, when we wake up, we brush our teeth. They don't have this luxury, right? So if you bring candy to them, they'll eat it and they go to sleep. A lot of children I see on the trail that have not, their teeth is not in good structure, put it this way. So we brought them color pencils and then also exercise book. We asked our porter and our mountain guide to ask them to come along, and then tell them that this is an exercise book, and then we show them how to draw the picture using different color pencil, and you reward with an angelly smile. And this is where I start to bring out my camera and start to snap, right? So in a way, we also it also brings us joyful. So we're able to see the smile from these kids, right? And then this was taken on my second trip. This was our last day of the hike. It was almost clear sky. It's very, very beautiful, right? These pictures was taken during my first hike to Annapurna Base Camp. This was, I believe, on the 4th day of my hike. This on the 4th day, you see a lot of hilly plantations, right? And then all these villages' house. Not all the houses you're allowed to enter. The tea house normally will be painted in blue color, right? When we see a blue color house along a track, means that there's a tea house to host the tracker or the international traveler. And when you are in a high altitude enough, you can see the Nepalese eagle. I was surprised that I'm able to see it, I'm able to capture it. And this is a scene you will witness. And then every tree house, they will cook for the traveler and also the local porter. The local porter, you use a big pan, aluminum pan, and fill up with all the rice, all the veggie that cook for them. As for the hikers, we will prepare in a kind of brown type of plate, and we call it this the dalbat. Trust me, it's very, very tasty, right? Even my children love it very much. So this is on my second trip. The average altitude is around 2,500. It's not that cold, but because you are in the forest, there tends to trap a lot of cold air within the forest itself. But it's a very pleasant hike. It won't feel chilly. It won't feel difficult, right? If my 11 years old daughter can do it, I believe that anyone can do it. So do plan ahead. Oh, before that, this is the mountain guide that designated to look after my daughter only, because she's the youngest among the group. And these are the hikers that went with me. The second trip actually is my organized for my family alone, but my friend and also my relative who joined my trip. So it became from 4% become 9%, and the entire group, including a porter and the mountain guide, is about, I think it's 15 in total. So during that time, it was considered quite large. Now, the good things about a photographer is that you are able to capture all the scenes that your friends or other trackers are not able to, among your group. The bad thing is that any good scenery, they'll ask you to pick up your camera and shoot for them. So it's a good and that. But every time I came back from a Nepal trip, I always brought back a good memory, good picture, and strengthened relationship among a family and also friends. I think that is the most rewarding for both of my trips. Now, hiking in ABC is not always a jungle track, forest hiking trail. You know, especially when my first trip to Annapurna Base Camp, it was early of April. It was changing season between winter to spring. Now, in the average of 2000 over altitude, it was cooling, but there's no snow. But once we rise above 3,500, you can see that the snows are starting to pick up, and then this was the last few miles before we reach Annapurna Base Camp. This was in the afternoon, around 2 to 3 p.m. It was a blizzard. It was no joke. Luckily, I was wearing a soft shelf windproof jacket. Right, I can't look forward. I can't bring out my head and look forward because the snowflake will hit my face, and it is very painful. So I have to look at my ground on the ground, only a few feet beyond my steps, right? And I just follow the track over here. Everyone actually doing the same thing, right? And when the blizzard hit us, we can only see like 10-15 meters. Now, this is where the travel companies comes in, right? The portal was reached in Annapurna Base Camp much earlier than us, and they noticed that we are not reached there in time. All of them came down and searched for us and accompanied us to the base camp. This is something that you wouldn't get if you travel alone, right? So do spend some money, buy a good portal and mountain guide, right? You won't regret. And this picture was the next day after we reached Annapurna Base Camp on the way down. So it was clear sky. It was very clear sky, and it's not cold at all. It was quite warm, I would say. You don't have to put on 2 layers or 3 layers of clothing. For me, once I go down the track about 1 hour, I just take out my jacket and just hide with my short sleeve. It's a quick dry material, right? You have to bring along your sunglasses because the reflection from the snow will really blind your eyesight. So this is scene because the unique geometry. Every day the scenery are different, right? On the evening or during the afternoon or in the morning itself, right? This is one of my favorite picture I was capturing during about 5 to 6 p.m. In the evening, right? There's not much of the attractions here, but all of a sudden there's one bird flew into the frame, and I was captured in. There's only one shot of that, and this became one of my favorite. So mountain, right? In early morning, you will see Golden Mountain Peak, right? That you will see it every day, different view, different angle, right? In the evening, normally, if you want to shoot mountain, the best time to shoot is actually in the morning itself. So wake up 6 a.m., take out your tripod, take out your camera, and start to shoot. Get yourself prepared around 6:30 when the sun rise, right? It will shower the snow mountain with a golden light, right? Especially when your first time you see it, you will never forget the scene, right? This is where I decided to I want to bring my family to enjoy this result, which I did. Now, the second picture on the top right is actually the evening shot. It was cloudy. Normally after 10 or 11, when the wind start to pick up, the snow mountain will cover with the cloud and all the snow, right? This shot was lucky, right? We were in the tea house canteen, right, or the cafe. We are enjoying, we are chatting, and then all of a sudden somebody shout, "Hey, look at the mountain! It's so beautiful!" we didn't realize that it's actually open up. There's a strong wind blowing on the top of this snow mountain. I recall the name though. Top right, Taulagiri, I think, right? It was blowing and it was last light of the day. So what I did is I quickly ran up to my room. I changed my lens to 70-200, right? Because it's quite a distance. So I shoot it at the maximum length of 200. I managed to get a couple of shots, but this is my favorite. And then this is the thing you're going to see when you are in when you are in Poon Hill, right? The three famous mountain peak. This is actually Annapurna South Mountain, right? And this is when you are on the way to Annapurna Base Camp. This is a tea house before Annapurna Base Camp. From here to the base camp is about 2 hours kind of durations. So do wake up early, right? Witness the magnificent sunrise beginning of the day. You won't regret in each and every day itself. And when you're presented a chance, right? Take out your camera, preset anything that where you capture. Because if you're not familiar with your camera settings, right? Time you're tuned, the scene is gone. As easy as that. Especially you are on the move on the trail, and the weather is changing all the time. So when you're familiar with your camera setting, you're fast enough, you're able to capture this scene. This was captured after the Poon Hill hike when we are on the way down, and we had our breakfast, and we are beginning our hike of the day. And then when I turned back, I saw the scene. I don't hesitate and take out my camera and shot it. This is the only shot I captured during that moment of time. So do familiar with your camera setting. Now, sunset and sunrise in the same location give you different scenery at all, right? On the left is sunrise at the back of the we call it the fish queue. It does have a Nepalese name, but it's too complicated. I can't recall. Right, this is the sunrise. This is the sunset. Right, so the view is nice. Although for me, this picture is not that great, but it's meaningful. Whereby you can witness, you can see with your own eyes. Same location, right? The same location, different time of day, different impact of the view.
What is the yellow thing there? Sorry, can you go back? What is this yellow thing?
Which one?
This one?
Yeah, what's that?
This is the Fishtail Mountain. This is actually a holy mountain. Nepal government does not allow any climber to climb on this mountain itself, right? As you can see, this is the tip of the mountain, the shape like a fishtail. So they call it the Fishtail Mountain. And it's actually the same mountain on the left and on the right. One is that the sun actually setting down on the left of the mountain. The sunrise actually rise from behind of the mountain. Okay, so let me move on. So another unique thing you can we are able to witness is actually the sun ray, right? The sun ray of the day is not only limited to sunrise, but during particular location, like this location is in Bamboo Tea House. Is one of the location 2 days before I reach Annapurna Base Camp. Because it's in the valley, it's very, very cold. But in the morning itself, you can only see the sunlight and feel the warmth after 8 p.m. After 8 a.m. But during that time, when you look up, there's a sun that penetrates through the mountain range. It's a very unique scene. This is in a day before Annapurna Base Camp, right? This is very early in the morning. It's about 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, right? The golden sunlight hasn't penetrated yet because of the thick clouds, but the sun ray able to shine through the clouds and also the mountain. So it's very, very unique. Even you can capture with your own iPhone, because right now the smartphone nowadays, the megapixel is very good. So if you're into Milky Way or photography, the ultra wide lens, steady tripod is a must. For me, during my first trip to Annapurna base camp, my camera condition is actually not that great. It's very dusty because I changed I changed the lens during my hike, and the impact actually is not that good. These 4 pictures I captured during my second trip to Poon Hill, right? Top 2 pictures are from the same location. The lower 2 pictures are from different locations. So I snapped this during about 8 to 9 p.m. at night. It was pitch black because there's no light pollution along the track. So you can even see the Milky Way with your own eyes, with your naked eye, right? That was the first time my children saw it. They fell in love with it, right? This is a Poon Hill scene. You were able to see in the clear sky. These all three pictures I captured during my first trip. It was clear sky. It was no capture any of the angle, right? This is Annapurna base camp, right? This was the second day morning. Sorry, lower 2 pictures was second day morning, very early, 6 to 7 a.m. These 2 pictures was about 2 a.m. at night. It was very, very cold. I was full gear, three layers of pants, 3 layers of clothes, double layer of glove, 2 layers of socks. I can only stand there for 40 minutes before the cold catches my bone. But the scene is very nice. However, during my first trip, it was in Chinese, we said it the 15th of the month. Okay, as we all know that Chinese calendar, 15th of the month is a full moon, right? So during my first trip, I'm not able to capture the astrophotography or even the Milky Way, just because of the status of the moon itself. So when you're going for hiking, you want to capture the astrophotography, right? Do plan to travel there during the first day of the month in Chinese calendar, or in Chinese we call it Choyat, the first few days. And when you are in Annapurna base camp, the people can get crazy, right? They will do a lot of weird things. They will go snow fighting, enjoy kissed by the dogs, and all those. So in base camp, helicopter landing is not a stranger event. But I was lucky enough, helicopter actually flew above me. Now that's where the tragedy comes in, because when the helicopter flew in, it will blows up a lot of snow, right? So by the time the helicopter flew over me, right, I was covered by snow, but I was quick enough to blanket my camera and my lens under my jacket. So immediately I'm able to capture the following shot, which is this. Right.
Okay.
So this is a base camp on the way down, right? If the weather is nice, I guess I would say that every angle is a poster scenery. And this is the portrait for the picture that I captured when I meet the people, right? The lady here, actually, I walked past this lady, right? And then I was hesitating. It's a nice piece of it's a nice picture. I don't want to lose this chance, so I went back. I asked the lady, "Can I take your picture?" Eventually, actually, the lady does not know English, so my mountain guide actually translate for me. She permitted. Most of people on the trail, they allow you to take their picture if you treat them nicely or behave, right, or be responsive, right. As for children, I just award them with the exercise book, the color pen. They will show me their most beautiful sights. So these are the portrait that I captured during hike, right? This was on my first trip. This was second trip. The previous picture, this was my second trip. These two persons actually sitting side by side. This was my first trip. This lady I met during my last day of the hike in Poon Hill. She was sitting there. She was actually begging for money, right? We don't understand the language that she spoke, but obviously the content of the hike, the expression actually touched me. So what I did is actually I donate some money to her, and I show my camera. I use like the body language. Ask them that can I take your picture. She's permitted, by knocking her head. Then I take this picture. Now, I found out that most of people, or over 90% of people, when they travel to Nepal, they always go for those popular tourist spots. But one of the great scenes, especially for street photographer, you must visit the Kathmandu morning market. This morning market only happens on the city center, and it's only appear from 4 a.m. up to 8 a.m. only, and then they will disappear. So for me, this is something like a phantom morning market, right? However, in this morning market itself, you can see a lot of people, a lot of people, starting their beginning of the day, selling stuff, preparing breakfast, drinks, praying, right? And then there's a lot of things that you're able to capture, right? You can see the real Nepalese living, right? How they start their day, how they communicate. It's very different from what you've seen on the trail and in the tourist spot itself. It's very pure, I would say. And this is one of the UNESCO site. They call it the Buddha Stupa, right? This is what I captured during that in that location. Another location will be the Monkey Hill. In this Monkey Hill, you have to protect your stuff, right? The monkey will snatch your stuff, especially when you have food on your hand, right? Where if the monkey actually act very aggressively, just hand over the food. He will leave you alone. Now, if you study Nepal history, there was a earthquake happened in year 2015, right? This picture I captured 3 years ago. As you can see that the building was not fully repaired, fully recovered from the earthquake itself. You can see they're supporting the building using the woods, the steel, and even the crack that they never repair it. They don't have the financial status actually to repair this building. This is actually a government official building, and this was captured in Kathmandu city center, right? And I was quite surprised that, as you can see, the pillar actually slanting. There's still people working and living inside this building. So to me, if the second earthquake strike Kathmandu, I will tell you that a lot of people will suffer from the next earthquake. But this is their life. This is the way it is. And this is also captured in a Buddha Stupa. This was the last days of my trip. I woke up around 5 a.m. in the morning. Right, took a cab, just reached to this location because there's a lot of things that you can capture. The people are praying. There's a lot of pigeon, people feeding. You can capture a lot of great scenes here. And then the most important is actually to enjoy your hike, right? Enjoy the moment. Don't bow yourself to just want to take picture, right? Enjoy it, especially with your companion, right? These 4 pictures are are the best picture I ever had, right? Not because of the landscape, but because of the companion that we went through the journey of the full 10 days, right? We've been together, we eat, sleep, and we enjoy together. We hike the same trail, we suffer the same weather. But when we came back, it actually strengthened our relationship, not only for our friends, even within my family itself. So with that will be my end of my slide. Sorry if actually worshipped
No
by
worries.
almost like
Wow. Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Lee. Guys, I think half of you guys already left the left the session. Okay. Yeah. Any questions, guys? For those who have questions, please unmute yourself. And I think there are quite a number of questions in the chat group. Howard, would you like to bring them up? Yeah.
Some already mentioned just now. Like Robin Lee asking, do you have to tips your porter at the end of the trips?
Yes, I have to tips because the porter, the daily salary for them is only a few USD per day, right? And then for the whole year season, they only get to work for 6 months, and then they have they have to supply for the whole family. So normally during after the trip, I will reward them with I would say fair amount of USD to them. It depends on individual. There's no fixed number for you for them, right? So, I mean, to be honest, they are living in a very hard condition, hard life, right? And they're really responsible and they really treat you well. So, yeah, you should reward them.
And then Harley is asking, is a single lens 24-105 f4 good enough for this trip?
Actually, it's good enough. I would say that it's actually good enough. Although there is some limitation if you want to shoot, let's say get the Milky Way, because your focal length actually is not wide enough. So probably you won't able to shoot the whole section of the dive, probably on the partial of the section. But you can always leverage on what you have by taking the Snow Mountain Peak as your foreground and use the Milky Way as your background.
Okay. And then the comment box is chat box is no question already. Member, any question you want to ask? Kelvin, Ray Tech. How was the food? The name is Kelvin.
Oh, okay.
How
The
was
food
the
is
food?
great.
And
The food is great. There's no
what
problem.
sort of backup plan if someone falls sick during the hiking?
Okay, so do bring your medications, right? The runny nose or any medications that you're familiar with, or to bring some. Or some even fever, your running nose, big fine, right? That's important thing.
Line not good. Hello. Can you hear?
So if you're go down immediately, there's no other solution, right? My friend high altitude sickness during high in aerospace camp. And
Wait, I think your internet connection a bit slow. The sound checking. SC?
yeah, okay.
Testing. Hello. Let's see. SC?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Sorry for that.
Can hear you now. Okay.
Okay, sorry. Just now my network connection is very bad. So the question was, what is the sickness, isn't it? So if your fever or running nose should be fine, you just need to bring your regular medicines, or the mountain guide actually will prepare their first aid kit along the way. Now, the most crucial part is if you suffer from high mountain sickness or AMS, right? You need to go down immediately. There's no other solution. One of the cases, one of my friends, when they are hiking in aerospace camp, she was suffered severely on AMS. So what they did is actually they call the helicopter or chopper to land at the nearby the treehouse and chopper her down to the Lula airport. So once she landed on Lula, right, for the following day, she felt much more better. This is because of the high altitude. There's no way for you to escape it. So that's why.
Sorry, so for the helicopter is additional charges or
it will be
included
covered in your travel insurance. Yes.
Travel insurance. Okay.
Yep.
I see.
But make sure that you got that covered because I remember it's actually one of the option insure option.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So, Kelvin, is it answer your question? Got your question answered? Yes, thank you.
Right. Thanks.
Okay.
So do train yourself before the hike. All right. Do a regular walk, regular run, regular hike. It really helps a lot.
So,
any more questions?
Member? Yeah. Any more questions? June 2. Wait. Ali.
June is online today.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, June. Long time no see you. Yeah.
Long time, meet up again. If you were to, without an insurance, if you were to get the chopper, it will cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're looking at 5 figures in ringgit.
It is, I think it costs about 5,000 USD when chopper costs one way. Because I have gone to Samagon, Kathmandu, up, and the chopper only can carry 5 person only. It's a very, very beautiful scenery. So if any one of you would like to go for it. Okay, thank you.
Wow. Didn't know that, Jun, you've been there before, yeah.
Yeah, I went in 2015.
Okay.
The mountain is beautiful. The air is so clean.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Ali here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Loud and clear.
Okay. I've many years ago, more than 10 years ago, I've been up to Mount Kinabalu. My question is, how is it compared to what's the base camp at Annapurna or what?
Annapurna base camp.
So how do you compare with Mount Kinabalu? Okay,
so my first high mountain climb actually KK, and then follow up will be ABC. So I can compare with these two. Mount KK is actually a very drastic hike, right? Because you have to go up to the base camp and then go further on and come back on the same day itself. Whereas for Annapurna base camp is actually very you'll be hiking a very same altitude to get yourself climatized, and then you have a lot of time to enjoy the scene and take pictures. Mount KK, there's only a few spots that you're able to capture good scenery. So the usage of your camera, you won't bring up so much. Most of the time you'll be after the hike when you reach the Mount KK peak, right? When you came down, if the weather is great, then you can take a picture of the low peaks and so on. However, for Annapurna Base Camp Trail, every scene is a postcard or wallpaper scene.
Yeah,
it's much more leisure. You would.
That's why for Mount Kinabalu, I only took one camera with 24-105 lens. So And then I let the porter carry all my heavy gear. I just carry the camera.
So Harley, you have intention to go ABC one day?
No lah. As I said, Mount Kinabalu, I went more than 10 years already.
I think you should travel with Sharon. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Actually, we are thinking Nepal will be something different, but I think maybe tough for us old people.
Not really, because during my second hike to Punch Hill, right, which is only 4 days, there's two of my member that never exercised, never hiked before, right? They just tag on us and travel. Although they are the slowest member to reach destinations, but they just go slow and then they just pace themselves, right? They're able to do it, right? For the heavy gear, just let the porter carry it. Just make sure that you protect it and cover with clothing, like what I did. Then you should be fine. You should be fine. A base camp hike might be a big challenge for those non physical fitness enough, right? But Puchu should be all right.
SC, this the last this presentation wallpaper now one with the portal is under which spot?
This is on the Fish Hill base camp.
Oh, it's very high altitude.
This is about 3,000, 3,006 or 2005, right? I only able to capture one picture of this. It was so coincidence. I was on my way down. I saw this group of porters was coming out, so I quickly ran in front of them, used them as of my foreground and the mountain as my background. I only can capture one scene, and that's about it.
Okay.
Howard,
yes, June.
You don't worry about high altitude sickness. Before you leave, you take the high altitude tablet with you.
Okay.
So you will be fine. It's a very beautiful place, Kathmandu, Nepal.
Yeah.
Hey, Hali, you should go, Hali.
Hali.
Hali,
Plan.
Hey, June. I don't know whether you remember one trip I went, maybe not with you, to this one. I reached up there, I got sickness.
China that Wongshan.
Yellow mountain.
The yellow mountain, you with me, ma?
No. Wongshan, no sickness. Another trip we went to Chaiko, then after that went to another place. That one about 5,000 feet
珍珠海
5,000 feet is 1,000 over meters, I think.
Feet only.
No, because we went by cable car. It went up very fast. By the time we reached there, cannot already. I cannot breathe already.
No, you should go on a very slow pace, and you will be fine.
Yeah.
You go on a slow pace. It's really very
experienced girl talking.
Hali, I can take you around Kathmandu.
Okay.
It's full.
I
have gone to many places, many repeated times already. Really, so beautiful. Only the food is a big problem.
Kelvin, you have questions? I saw you raise your hand.
I think he leave already.
I see.
Okay. Kelvin.
Yeah, just want to know, do they limit how many porters you can use? Just like, if they limit how many luggage they can carry for you, or
30 kg.
how many kg?
SC, your mic. Your mic.
Oh, sorry, I was
Okay.
muting myself. So normally each porter can allow to carry up to 30 kg, 30. So travel company will advise you to carry up to 15 kg per person. So each porter will carry up to 30 kg.
So for travel company, they only allow one visitor, one porter.
Or either one visitor, one porter, or two visitor to one porter.
Two visitor, one porter.
Mm.
Okay. There cannot be one visitor, two porter.
Can. You have to
Pay
pay
money
extra.
lah.
That's all.
Pay money lah, Howard.
Yeah.
Kelvin, can you hear? Can you your question answer?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Pay
got it.
money.
Boeing will be sponsor for a porter.
Okay.
You just let the
Any more
porter
questions?
carry. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Kevin,
Yeah.
let the porter carry your stuff. You only carry your camera and the walking sticks and enjoy the scenery.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Never use a porter before.
Because Kelvin want to shift the whole house. Maybe he want more than one porter.
Too many gear want to bring along. Imagine you have to shoot time lapse, you have to shoot video, and then
Yeah.
you need to bring a lot of camera.
Well, how are you going to carry your gear?
That's why.
Will kill you. It's not easy to walk, Especially
Okay. That's why I'm wondering if the porter could bring all the things, that would be wonderful.
Then the porter has to follow you all the time, Normally the porter will be ahead of you.
Okay.
Yes, that's true.
So how was the
And when you
food, by
bring
the way?
along all this equipment, your porter will not take the responsibility to protect your gear. So if your gear was damaged, then so sorry for you. So you do have to bring all those gear, right?
Okay. How was the food, by the way?
Oh, to me, it's fantastic.
Okay.
You've not been there, you don't like the food.
I think it looks like an Indian food, is it? The dishes.
Is I think less meat. All veggie.
Mostly vegetarian.
Yeah.
Vegetarian. Okay.
A lot of potatoes.
The reason why is that the tea house, the electric supply is not 24/7. Some of them even run on generator, so they don't have fridge. So for me, they require refrigerator actually to keep the meat fresh.
Yeah.
Don't they have that? Right?
It's also a problem. They have got time to open up their electricity. Daytime, no electricity in Kathmandu.
Okay.
So is there any more questions?
Yeah. If no, then I think we will end our session soon. Now it's 10:30. It's a bit late now.
Well, every weekend you all have got. Every weekend.
Yes, we do have every single weekend. Do you have anything to share with us? We can always invite you to our channel. Howard can arrange that. Yeah.
Thank you. At this
Yeah, maybe I think you have a lot of travel, experience in other countries. Yeah.
I only experienced traveling only, but not for a good photographer.
And you can share your travel experience,
Hadi, you have a question?
Yeah, Hadi.
Yeah, I see Junju everywhere. And then she keep telling people I pin this place, pin that place. But we never see her photo. She don't want to share.
That is the thing. So it's time to invite her to.
Jun, why you so kiam siap?
Kiam siap.
Hadi. I've been to many places.
So I think that we surpassed our presentation duration. But if you have any questions that you are not able to ask me, do feel free to reach out to me. Or if you can't, then just reach out to Michael. I know Michael for many years.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Lee, you have any social media or any link that you know that the members can follow you? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will share it later on. I forgot to put it in my slides. No problem.
Okay. Sure. All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
welcome.
guys. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, Lee, for sharing your wonderful experience with us. Thank you very
Thank
much
you for
coming to our channel. Yeah. Okay,
Thank you
guys.
for inviting
Good
me.
night.
Thank you,
Good night,
everybody.
then.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.